Howdy y'all, Cody and Jessica here, and today we're doing something a little different. We have a special guest with us. It's BJ Oliver, and his company is called All Over Solutions.
Yeah.
And we thought it would be fun just to get together and kind of discuss some of the most common questions and help people out, maybe point people to this video, put like the designer and a builder together, and how those two can collaborate together, and then just basically we're just going to have a little conversation here and answer some common questions. So, okay.
Let's get started.
Love it. Let's go.
Some of the general things that drive costs, a lot of questions that you see online, and I do too, is it cheaper to build out versus up?
Yeah,
so,
that's a popular question.
Right.
Yep.
What's your opinion on that?
Yes. No, really, that's a question that really depends. So think about COVID 2021, and lumber is just extremely expensive. For me, that was a quick answer: go out. Because lumber, now you got to build more floor joist and
right.
more walls, and no, it's easier to go out at that point. And now we're getting a little bit closer. So it is a tough question because it's right there on that zone. What I usually tell people is, do you have the space? Go out if you have the space. That's my opinion. This is not design, but and you're trying to get the design look. Maybe it needs to be 2-story. So I'll defer to Jessica. But as far as cost, go out rather than up.
Really?
And the reason I lean towards that is long term for accessibility. That's one. And then in Texas, in a lot of areas, the land is affordable, so you're not paying. So like think Granbury, Texas, you can go out, but in New York City, you're going to have to go up. So really,
right.
Land drives that a lot. So how
point.
expensive is the land? That kind of drives it. And so I usually lean towards going out unless the lumber prices are really good.
Yeah, that's an interesting take. So
my opinion. Sorry if that's different.
No. So to look at it the other way, where some people will argue is like, so concrete's generally expensive as well.
Mm-hmm.
Foundation, steel that you got to put in the ground, especially
absolutely.
doing a slab foundation or a basement, right?
Yeah.
And then you have more roof surface area. Like typically with you go out, you have more roof surface area, so you're paying for more lumber. I mean, the roof's a roof, but like, there's more surface area, more squares on the roof and stuff. So I think you gave the safe answer in that it depends on your situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So again, it goes back to there's not like a one-size-fits-all answer. Everything is very specific.
I have an in-between answer too. Like if you can design a roof design that's you're able to get it within a 1 or 1.5 story in that same roof plane, so that would help some. So
right.
if you're inside of that roof design and you can build a room inside of there, but the roof line goes all the way down to the first story
right.
or story and a half, that's a good cost savings.
And that's how most of our plans are.
There you go.
Yeah,
so good job.
That's why people like you guys.
Yeah, people get a lot of like secret rooms or floor space that was
use
not
that
planned.
space.
Right.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
So,
use that space.
when you are thinking of buying like one of our floor plans or a floor plan that uses, it's like a 1.5 story versus a full 2-story. So basically the exterior material only needs to go up like 1.5 or 1.25 versus 2 full stories. And so you're saving on exterior materials. But one thing you need to consider is, like here in Texas, we all do stick framing with rafters. Each piece of lumber is placed individually. In other places, they do truss framing in the roof. And so when you have a room inside the roof, your truss has to look a little bit different, and sometimes the truss framing doesn't always work. But we have ways around it. Like there are these trusses that are like bonus room trusses where it leaves an opening in the middle. So you can do that. You just have to work with your truss company to design it properly.
So a point of clarification. So when you say like not a full 2-story, what you're meaning is, right, that like a full 2-story would mean your ceilings are full height everywhere on that second story. Is that correct? Right. So like if you have 9-foot ceilings upstairs or 8-foot ceilings upstairs, everywhere.
Your plate height on the second floor is also 9 foot.
Right. But like there's no like slope drywall room ceilings and stuff like that versus like a partial 2-story.
Sometimes you can get a full height room inside the space with no chopped corners where the roof is coming in. Sometimes you don't have that. But sometimes in a 1.5 story, you will have some little chopped corners. But I like that. I think it adds character and charm.
I do too.
And that's, like you said, that's a kind of a characteristic of our plans, because our roofs typically are steep enough where you get those little nooks and crannies that kids love. You know, they little secret hideouts and stuff like that. So okay, so the kind of the best metric we have, this is all debatable, right? That people use to determine how much they can afford is the price per square foot. And there's good things about it, and there's bad things about it, about that system. And like, you'll see online, people just like, that's a terrible way to do it, but then they don't suggest, okay, well, how do you do it? So from your perspective, can you describe to me like the pros and cons of using price per square foot as kind of your metric?
Yeah, cost per square foot. We don't like it.
Even though it's it seems like it's the most talked about system we've got. So
thank you. Yeah. So like everybody walks in our office and even talks to you guys when they're designing, like what is the price per square foot? And it's all across the board. You touched on it a little bit. It really depends. So, and let me start with this. You get price per square foot numbers. In my opinion, it comes from the builders that are they're pushing them out. We talked about tract homes earlier. When they're doing 10 at a time or 50 at a time, and they're all the same house, you're able to go, okay, we've done this 5 or 10 or 20 times. We know it's within this area, and it's a price per square foot.
And you know how long it's going to be to frame.
Yes.
You know,
and you've honed in
materials and
you've honed in all those costs. You know what it is, and it's repetitive. So, but then that number is important, I think, because we all use it. The builders use it. We're using it for square footage on plans. An appraiser, when they appraise a house, they're looking at what is the square footage of it. The tax guy, he wants to know what
everybody uses it, but everybody hates it at the same time.
And the reason it doesn't work and the reason we don't like it is because what if you had a 2,000 square foot house, but you had a 5-car garage? Is that price per square foot going to be the same as if it's a 2-car garage? No, because you just spent, tens of thousands of dollars more that apply to that per square foot number. Because the per square foot number, and I don't know if you clarified this, usually it's within the conditioned space.
Right. Living space.
So this is the trick that builders use. This is a secret, and I get to say this because I'm more custom, and we do specs. But tract home builders, they're going to make that garage as tight as they can. They're going to make the front porch as tight as they can, the back porch as tight as they can, and then sell it off of that square footage. And then you're like, I wish I had a bigger garage. Or that's what we want to work through. And if you have the budget to be able to spend those dollars, then you need to be able to open your door in your garage. So like that's where we're going to help you more than looking at those tract homes.
So can you explain again, like?
And it's just a different product. I should say this. That's a different product. There's nothing wrong with it. We lean towards us, I think, more of the custom side of things.
So I want you to explain like how that saves the builder money is what you're saying, but then it allows them to keep the price per square foot up by doing what you're saying, basically make the garage and the porches small.
So if in your area, and this is hard to talk, we're trying to stay away from numbers, but let's just say in your city, your area, they're selling, let's just throw a number, $200 a square foot. They're going to come to us and say, oh, it's $200 a square foot, and they're going to ask us for a 5-car garage, and I want a big porch because I have the sunset view out this porch or whatever those things are that through design. But with them, they're going to keep that same $200 a square foot, and you're not getting those things, but they're doing a business. So if they can sell it at what that local price per square foot is for the same as another house, and they're able
It's not living square footage is what you're saying. And
so it doesn't benefit the builder to build a bigger porch or a bigger garage,
he's building,
because they're only making money on the living area square footage.
That's right.
The air-conditioned space.
So I want to sell more. I want to be more. If I'm a business owner, those are things I'm going to try to do. Like naturally, how do I be more profitable? And a builder that's doing spec homes and tract homes over and over again, that's why those things shrink, because they're selling on that square footage
the living
of
area
what.
Square footage.
Yep, the living area. Thank you. Living area square footage for what the highest price they can sell for in your region, to
Right.
be able to make the most profit.
That makes sense.
And so if you
Versus
Yeah, go
if
ahead.
you're a custom home buyer and builder, you're probably going to want a more expansive garage so that you can fit all of the things in there, not just your cars. You're going to need space for your bicycles and your
Yes.
hard.
Well, heck, in Texas, you
Hardware.
can't even fit some of the trucks in the
Yeah.
garages.
Well, no,
Right.
I was joking a little bit ago, but I've seen so many houses that they may only have like 19 feet in there, and you can't pull your pickup in there. In Texas, you got to have a pickup in your garage, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and everybody obviously wants a porch. I once did a poll on my Instagram saying, "What's the number one thing you want in your next house?" And the number one answer was a front porch. So I think that's something that we as designers and builders need to take into consideration.
Absolutely. Can I tag on that on something else? We see this a lot, and I love them. Everybody loves them. Wraparound porches. So like wraparound porches are requested. And for me, I don't know about y'all, but 9 times out of 10, they get to the cost and go, that's the first thing we got to cut.
Right.
So if you love it and you can't let it go, just know that's an expensive deal. It's not that price per square foot number. Like if you got those numbers locally,
it's not 200 a square foot.
that's right. This is gonna inflate that number to have that wraparound porch. And if you can do it, great. But just know that that's structure. You have foundation, you have framing, you have a roof, and it's all exterior grade materials. So that's an expensive thing that you're adding that inflates that living price per square foot.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yep, absolutely.
The other thing, since we're talking about price per square foot, it's funny because the other reason it's bad is like you can take the same house plan and you can build it at one price, and then by changing just the finishes and the treatments and the details, you could jack that thing up 150 grand really easily by using, like you said, Formica versus Taj Mahal or whatever, quartzite countertop. So do you have any opinions on that either?
Like if you can afford to do it, great, but don't give up on a builder if your price doesn't land where you want to. Know that if it's a good builder, I should say that before I say it, but if it's a good builder, you're going to have good bones. And a lot of those selections, if you can bring that back in, you're going to save a lot of money on flooring and countertops and tile and all those finishes. And maybe it's a plan for, I want to build a strong house that I'm going to stay in as what we've always heard as the forever home, but I'm going to save money now, and maybe in 10 years we upgrade our countertops. You're going to want to probably upgrade your house in 10 to 20 years anyway. So like, if you just can't afford it, selections is the way to go. First is square footage, right? But selections is a big one too, like y'all are bringing up, is if we can squeeze down those, save some money now for our family to plan ahead. And for me, I think about my kids. I'm like, no, I want to save some money on these things because they're going to tear it up. They're 5 years old.
Right.
So
we
let's
do the renovation 10, 15 years down the road whenever they're gone.
So and I just go back to lifestyle. Like if you can do it, if you can afford it, and just go for it. But those are practical things that a lot of people don't think about. They get that number from us as the custom builder, any of the great local builders, and they're like, sticker shock. No, I can't do this forever. Ask them questions. Ask us questions. What are things that we can?
How can we cut?
How can we cut it back?
Yeah.
And you should be kind of communicating that throughout with the ideas, but at the end of the day, they're going to put a budget together based on that plan, and okay, we're going to have to squeeze it because what we budgeted were 50,000 over or whatever that number is. How do we get 25,000 off of that? Okay, here's some things, and it's just a back and forth. A lot of times, customers just get scared and they walk. If you can ask questions and bounce it off of each other, and you're willing to give on some of those things, then you're going to have a strong house that's not going to fall over. You just may not have the Taj Mahal.
Sometimes I tell my clients, like, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's figure this out, and also kind of think in phases. So maybe you have a cased opening that you don't put the French doors on just yet. You can add those a year later. Or maybe you don't finish out the bonus room right away. You can add that later. But you're already going to have sort of the bones of the bonus room, so that it'll just be, a matter of finishing it out later. We try to direct people, if they're scared of the budget, to think in terms of what can I add later that's not going to require demo or much demo. Like it's very easy to change lighting. It's very easy to change a faucet. But it's difficult to change cabinetry.
Right.
So
difficult to move a stairway.
Oh yeah.
Structural, anything structural. Yeah.
So put your money into the things that are going to be lasting, and you could save on the things that maybe can get easily replaced later or added on later.
You touched on bonus room earlier. We have customers that come to us with, I have all this space in my attic. Can we put a new living space up here? Yes, you can. You can do whatever you want pretty much with construction, but can we afford it?
Right.
If you are thinking about doing a bonus room but unfinished, a lot of people are homeowners. They see a cost savings when they're trying to dial down those costs of let's not do the bonus room, but they cut it back so much that they end up with just 2x6s or 2x8s. And so if you're like, I'm going to just put a bonus room in there in 5 or 10 years, but they only did 2x6s or 2x8s and not actual floor joist, that's going to be way tougher, way more expensive. So at the very minimum, if you know that you're going to do a bonus room in 5 or 10 years, get those floor joists in there in that attic space. Otherwise, you're cutting a hole in your roof line or running through a window or something because they're not going to go up a stairway. And
it's funny you mentioned Jessica put out an Instagram reel or video on that recently about planning for that. You're
Plan ahead.
What was the name of it? That you're doing your bonus room wrong or
you're not planning ahead. And it's great to go ahead and do it. Yes, it is a little bit more expensive to go ahead and get the thicker floor joists at this point, but down the line it will save you like at least $50,000.
Oh yeah,
if not more. And finishing off that space, even if you just finish it off before you sell, that's added square footage.
Yeah. That's right. And it's conditioned area. We talked about that a little bit ago. Conditioned area is what appraises what sells.
Right. So you drive up the cost of your house, you're going to get more bang for your buck.
Yeah, I pretty much tell people that are considering to build the bonus room or any other bonus space in phases is like, you obviously want it framed and with the floor joists and just the framing done. You probably want rough electrical in there, right? Because going into you don't want to have to be cutting through drywall, right? And you also want to be able to have your breaker boxes to be able to handle the additional load, right? So when you're building the house originally, you need to make sure you have enough breaker space that you can get all that up there and then stubs out for plumbing. Like you don't have to have it completely roughed in, but you need to be able to tie into your house. And you and your plumber, as you're building the main house, need to figure out, okay, when we finish that space up there, is there something we can tie into really easily? So you have any opinions on that?
That's all great thoughts. The only other one that it's a little tougher is the HVAC system. The reason is because you have like tonnage loads, and I'm not a professional HVAC guy, but if you're doing it in the future, but you're not conditioning it now, and you have a way oversized system, a lot of times you can't do that. And there's a couple of tricks there. I would defer to whoever the HVAC professional is that you're working with. But like a variable speed system. So because what the problem is they're slamming the area that is conditioned for the now to hopefully be ready for the future. And sometimes that air pressure and volume just doesn't work. So I think they can fix it with a variable speed system and a zone system. I think that's with my
and depending on where the bonus room is, like sometimes a mini split is a good option.
Yep.
Yeah, that's in our case here. Use mini splits. Yeah.
And those are efficient. Those are really efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't require any ductwork or anything like that. So if your space is kind of sectioned off in a way that makes that work, that's definitely a way to go.
Yeah.
Okay. How can people find you?
All Over Solutions, not Oliver, but alloversolutions.com. And then we're on social media platforms too, usually / All Over Solutions.
Right. And you can find us at oldbarncompany.com. You can find her at
the.old.barn on Instagram, and then
we're also on Facebook and TikTok, and our YouTube channel where you can go see videos like this, and then we have a bunch of tours of homes for clients
that have been built based on our floor plans.
And we also dabble in the DIY and just home decor and lifestyle stuff too. So make sure you go check it out.
Yep. Thanks for watching.
Love it.